project, which we're paying $140,000, and they're paying $200,000. Or I walking around today was kind of an eggshell, because
They haven't stayed.
they haven't stayed on it, so. But I think the meeting went well. It was a positive meeting, and as I said, there were 20 trees in that stretch.
They're not
asking to take out a total of 5, and all 5 were looked at very carefully today by the engineers and by West Profus, the person from DEC. So, you know,
Any difference to sum up between the county's position and the DEC's position? They both want to save the trees, but the good thing is DEC says that you don't have to shade it. This is a better solution.
He did.
right.
And it's interesting, it'll be interesting to see also that the cost is different.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is it more labor intensive?
I think the cost in aggregate is going to be cheap.
Well, you don't have to buy trees, but
Or dig out the roots, dig out the trees.
The
you
only
just can't tell if it's more labor.
Yeah, I just think though there's a chance though, when they get in there, to do the whatever shading or whatever, and the tree dies, right?
Yeah, and that was a major concern that both Tim and I expressed too.
Yeah, the prior plan, because I've heard that before.
Shaving is not
Okay, ready?
very good, so.
All right, this is the April 4th meeting of the Village of Newburgh Board of Trustees. It's going to be a wrap-up meeting for the budget, hopefully that we can finish and bring into the board meeting that's next Wednesday. So please stand for pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can we do a roll call of trustees?
Mayor Cosby?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Contino?
Here.
Trustee Herzog?
Here.
Trustee Doro?
Here.
Trustee Murphy?
Here.
Okay. As promised, we have pizza coming at any moment. So we'll make this a working, eating meeting. Help yourself, get up and down during the meeting is fine. There's drinks over there, water and some soda and ice. Help yourself. The agenda, we're going to go first a presentation by Karen of the overall revenue versus expenses story based on what she and Sarah put together. Then we're going to go into executive session with just the board members. We're going to go back in the corner over there, we'll set the table up over there and discuss some personnel things. Then we're going to come back into here and hopefully be able to wrap up the tentative budget. And then we have some other items we need to talk about other than budget before we leave tonight, okay? All right? So with that, let's go to Karen. She put together an overview, which is not in your package, so here it is. I'll roll up as much as I can. She's going to basically read through this.
Okay. The budget season started with a meeting with Stat from VRI for water and sewer funds. Then the board met with each department head for water, police, fire, and front office. After budget requests were received from all of the departments, the budget was consolidated for a total budget review. Estimated expenses were approximately $29,000 over the estimated revenue. The purchase of a new dump truck's estimated payment was in the budget. However, if purchased after June 1st, that payment would start in the 24-25 year, thereby allowing us to remove it from the 23-24 year. This and removing $5,000 from contingency line item balanced the budget. Non-tax revenues were then reviewed and estimated. The calculation was done via the New York State tax cap website, and it was determined that the allowable growth factor for the 2% tax cap was established at $1,089,314. Another challenge was the decrease in the overall assessed valuation for the village caused by the removal of Bennett College from the tax roll. This resulted in a 3.7% increase to the tax rate, while the tax levy remained below the 2% tax cap and came in at $1,089,313.
Let's stop right there. So the trustees understand what's going on here?
Right.
All right, so they have a 2% tax cut, tax max
Levy, right?
levy that we're allowed to increase. We also have this growth factor from the state of 0.8%. That's in there as well. And we had an increase in the assessed, or a decrease in the assessed property value of the village properties, primarily because of, I think solely because of, the fact that the parcels that make up Bennett Park and the parcels that make up the band shell and the Thorn building became 501c3, which came off of the tax rolls. All right? And that was a total of about, Sarah went through the estimate of how much taxes were paid by them the year before. It's in the range of $78,000, which on a $1 million levy is about another 0.7%. All right? 0.7, And so that's how you get to 2% plus 0.8 plus 0.8 is the 3.7%. Understand that?
What's a 0.8 growth rate?
Yeah, so can we explain that? That's a fixed number. When they go to the portal to assess the allowable tax levy to meet the tax cap, that's a fixed number that the state has put in there. And
Yeah, I just go by the 2% tax cap and just plug in what we do. We go in and we just plug in our tax levy from last year, and we know right away what we can increase it by. And we only had like,
it's a tax-based growth factor, and it's derived using a quantity change factor. This is by New York State, calculated by the Department of Taxation and Finance.
But it's fixed.
It's
I mean,
fixed,
there's nothing we can do about it.
right, right.
So it's a factor that's in there. Okay. There's a portal. This is just a portal which shows you, what you have to deal with. They just plug in the numbers and they come up with a number. Financial number. All right. So they're going to understand that. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so Sarah and Tim did an assessment of the current budget, and we are projected to be $150,000 over our current estimated revenues and about $40,000 under our current estimated expenses at year-end 5/31/23. With this, we propose to move into this year the purchase and install of the server, the HeyGov's website edition, and the window replacements for the firehouse.
So let me talk about that.
Good.
So why are we so over in revenue? There's two things going on. First off, there was some, I'll say, conservative estimates on our part regarding the money we would get from the Dutchess County sales tax. We get a portion of the Dutchess County sales tax every year. I think we're like 20,000 underestimated there. I think there were a couple other items like the mortgage tax and utilities tax all came to the positive. And we like to be conservative, maybe not as conservative as that.
Right.
But just to make sure we have a buffer or whatever. We also had some one-time revenues that came in. So, for example, if someone doesn't pay their property taxes or their water sewer bill, that we send out, so June 1st, send out the bill. If they don't pay, we add on a penalty for late fee. They don't pay still, then we turn it over to the county. And the county, the following March, makes us good. Okay? And they basically say, here's the money you were owed. We'll go after it through a collection agency to get the money ourselves. That's one of the biggest services that the county provides to us. All right? But what happened is the last 2 years, there was a freeze on doing that from the state because of COVID. So this year, we're getting like triple what we normally get. It's in the range of like 40 something.
Well, the freeze was just putting the water and sewer bills on the levy.
Oh, is that
We
right?
always got the levy.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Right.
All right.
So that's what was really,
Oh, okay. So we do have a one-time windfall coming in this year that's not going to be there next year. All right. So that's what's going on in the revenue. You got the pieces?
Yeah.
Okay, can you put them out? Yeah, because I want people to just get up and start helping themselves before it gets cold. Pizzas, cheese, sausage, and some kind of a veggie thing. Okay. So that's the revenue. On the expenses side, there were two major things that happened last year that kind of explained the expected $40,000. One is that in the highway department, after we closed last year's budget, we said, hey, can we use CHIPS money to do oil and stone? Answer from the state was, yeah, you can. So the oil and stone work that we did for 9 partners and Linden Lane, which was about $25,000, didn't come out of the budget, it came out of CHIPS. Right? And the second thing we had was the police, when Kelly left, Jared was working, I'm saying a couple of months, 3-4 months, trying to get the schedule out. And he was having difficulty, we can't resolve that now. But because of that time frame, there's a significant amount of money unspent in the personal services for the police. So I looked at where we are as far as the run rate. I did include the fact that last year we did have, after we closed the books on May 31st, there was about $50,000 that still rolled in. And I assume that that's going to happen again this year. Hopefully it doesn't, but I assume that. And I still get us to the good of about $40,000 for expenses. So those are just estimates. It's a good buffer for us to be comfortable that we're going to be able to increase our fund balance, which is still a driving force for us here. But meanwhile, to balance the budget, what we're proposing is, and I'll want a motion towards the end of the meeting once we've closed everything else, for us to be able to move into this fiscal year by May 31st. Introduction, replacement of the server. What are the other things you got there?
The HAGO.
The HAGov. And I've asked the fire guys if they can get the windows done. By the way, how's it look, you guys? By May 31st. Okay.
Windows are ordered.
Very good.
JP Woods will be doing the work. I went back to Silos because I'd asked him for a quote last year.
Yeah.
And his quote went up $3,000. So JP Woods is doing the new windows for $21,348.40.
Okay.
He's already emailed me the actual bill, which I will
Okay.
give to Nicole and Sarah.
Okay, good.
Write the check, and then we can just hold on to it until the project's done.
All right, fine. So the idea there is that we're gonna, as far as the fire and rescue, expect to go over this year, because we're gonna do these things early. But we'll be under next year, which I want the town to understand that next year, when we go to budget, I still want to budget the same as we had done planned before. Just recognize that we're gonna we'll be to the good next year in fire rescue for that item, because we're gonna go over this year. Are there any questions from the trustees regarding what we're doing here? And those changes allow everything else to fit. And you can see you've got the details of the line by line. So for example, the discussion we had about the tennis court last year, that's in here. The last meeting, the $1,000 for repairs, $4,000 for the setting up a fund. All right. And also the increase in the trees. We agreed on increasing that to 4,800. I don't know, the increase in the HRA to 24,000, that's in there. All right. So with those changes, pull these things into this year, and you can do it because of the fund balance that's really good this year. We can make the budget work.
Okay, so just make sure I'm clear.
Yeah.
So the 4,800 that we proposed
For the trees.
For the trees is gonna be what the figure's gonna be for 23, 24 going forward.
Yes, it's in here. You can find it in there. Find trees.
And what do you decide on for the future tennis court repairs?
We put $4,000 into a reserve and start.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, we'll do that reserve, after we finish the budget. But we'll
That's
put that
fine.
on this.
Want to be clear, thank you.
So is nobody taking pizza?
No, I know, I was gonna serve.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get up and do it.
Sorry,
Yeah, Peter, you should be first, because you're the one who asked for it.
Really?
Yes, you
I
did.
ate at home. I didn't know there was pizza.
Great idea.
Oh, dessert.
You can take a doggy bag and put it in the refrigerator.
Thank
It wasn't part of the email that dinner was going to be here.
Sorry about that.
But if you're gonna dip
From here and goes bowling every Tuesday, we keep a reserve of at least 6 to 8 pieces of pizza in the freezer. And it's dinner is in the freezer. You take it out anytime you want. Make your own salad.
Okay, can you have a drink anyway?
God, I've never seen.
All right.
Thank you for everything.
That's how he stays so spelled.
I know, that's. Because it's so nasty.
Just a moment.
Oh, sorry, are you recording this?
Yes,
Oh, okay, just audio?
No.
Oh,
I'm trying to
It's
keep you
already
on
in our
toes.
camera.
No, yes, it is.
Sure.
Okay, so after this, Karen's gonna go through a one-page summary for both, for general water and sewer, and then we're gonna go into executive session, all right?
Can we get started?
Well, let's see, we got, oh, wait till Vicky comes back.
Yeah, sorry.
I get to the home.
All right, so we're not gonna do a vote yet, but do the trustees have any objection, we'll go into this game plan?
No, I'm fine with it.
You guys okay with this?
Can you just explain the difference between, the tax rate and the levy, the 2%?
Karen?
So the tax rate is per thousand assessed value for each resident. The tax levy is all of your budget, your total expenses minus your non-tax revenue, like the sales tax and fees, and that amount is your levy. That's the amount you're gonna raise in taxes. So we did work with it. I mean, we were able to stay under the tax cap for the total levy, but we just couldn't get the tax rate down below that 3.7%.
So what's the levy percentage? You know,
The levy is 2%.
and we're at 2?
We're $1 under.
But,
But you don't gain anything by leaving anything on the table.
I was just wondering.
but is it fair to say that the individual taxes are gonna go up 3.7%,
Correct.
correct?
Right.
For the three factors we described,
Yeah.
okay? So that's what we should see. Now, by the way, an individual could see a difference if their assessment changes, right? So that's the rate per $1,000. If your assessment goes up or down, that also a factor. It's basically the tax rate times the assessed property value is the amount of taxes that the village collects.
I think everyone's assessment probably went up
Um,
by a little bit.
well, wait a minute, so,
Mine did.
I think it's hard, yeah.
Actually, what happened was when we received our town taxes January 1st, the equalization rate went down. Okay, which is another factor, but I don't know, if you look at your tax bill.
My assessed value went up. I don't know if my assessment.
Oh, your assessed value, went- okay.
A little bit.
You made some improvement?
No.
All right.
I don't know necessarily, and Karen is correct, but I'm not sure that everyone's house is reassessed every year and then uniformly going up. That's done now here.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know, the town
You
is
may have
assessing
gotten
you.
reassessed, either it was your turn or else you had some improvement in your house and therefore you got reassessed and maybe. Yeah.
I do know that the equalization rate, which you can think of that as the reciprocal of your tax rate, did go down from 100 to 85% for everybody in the town. All right. I don't know what that's gonna mean for the village taxes, if that equalization rate applies or not.
I'm not sure.
But whatever it is, it happened across the board.
Yeah,
So
it was,
it's
I think
like
it was 88.
88, okay, oh, that's right, 88, you're right, yeah. And so that factor was true across the board. Look at anybody's tax bill, which you can from Infotax Online, you'll see that 88 is there for everybody.
Right.
Okay. So the net is that the taxes should be going up about 3.7%, is what we should say. All right? Any more questions about that? All right, let's go to the chart of your overview. Whoops. You've got that.
Yeah, everyone has one.
This is a chart you've got.
So,
Oh,
I'll
wait,
just,
so where is it here?
It was
your first.
where you say the tentative budget,
It's what?
it was the first page of that budget, tentative budget.
Summary, it's not a chart.
Oh, this one. Yeah, you're right. Let me see if I can blow this up.
Sorry.
No, it's not okay.
Sorry, I think everyone pretty much has one.
Oh, that's right. Okay, there's copies out there for people who don't. Okay, go ahead.
So, okay, the 23-24 budget is being presented at $5.03 per thousand assessed value. And this tax rate increased 3.7%. And as we mentioned, the tax levy, the total tax levy remained below the 2% tax cap. So major changes Employee salaries to be discussed, proposed 3%.
So that's what's in there now that fits.
Correct.
And we'll talk about that in executive session. Okay.
Correct. Most utility line items have increased due to the increase in energy costs. Workers' comp, general liability, and medical insurance have increased by about 5%. Fire department transfer capital increased from $60,000 to $75,000. Replacement of assistant chief's truck, approximately $15,000 annual payment for 5 years. Included in the fire department repair line item is the third payment of $14,000 towards the new roof and assembly room windows, which we just moved to this year. Increased police coverage by 4% to have a dedicated administration time for the officer in charge. Public Works Department to repave Reservoir Drive using CHIPS funds and start a revenue fund for future tennis court repairs and maintenance, and increase annual funding for tree replacements throughout the village. That's just a brief overall of the expense.
Now, anybody think of anything else that we talked about? I can't. That was supposed to be in here. She's gone through the list of what we've adjusted. And by the way, you've already taken out the server into this year, and those other things, the HAGov into this year, so that's not on this list. Okay.
Revenues, anticipated revenue from interest and earnings has been increased. The New York quarterly sales tax increased by $18,000. New York State AIM will remain the same at $9,185. And the assessed valuation of the village has decreased, as we talked about, due to Bennett College. With the water fund, with an increase in the cost to supply water and manage the plant, the board will propose a 3.5% increase on all water bills. We are paying interest only on 2 VANs totaling $750,000. They will need to be converted to long-term debt in the coming years.
Probably like 2026, 2027, something like that.
I think that's it, yes. Sewer fund is holding steady this year. We will bond $250,000, but we'll talk about that. For a capital project to replace the Bennett pump station, sewer benefit assessment will increase from $50,000 to $61,000.
And those two things make the water and sewer fund stand alone because revenues will offset all of book expenses.
Correct.
All right.
What is that assessment? What happens with that?
What assessment?
The sewer benefit assessment.
That's a separate line item on your village tax bill. It's called sewer assessment. So it's a separate line item.
And then where does it go? Does
Where's
it
it-
go into?
It
is
goes
like
over to the sewer fund.
In the sewer fund. It comes in as taxes and goes into the sewer.
Usually for capital projects, we reflect into building to improve capital items like pump station, things of that nature.
Is it truly segregated so we don't just spend it on operating expenses?
Yes.
Or
It has to go into the sewer.
No. It goes into sewer. Is it segregated from like
No, it's,
administrative? It's not.
no, it is part of their proposed budget.
We basically add that to the projected revenues
It's
from the sewer
anticipated,
bills
yeah.
and say that's the total income we have to offset the expenses in the sewer department.
But I thought when we voted on it to, we picked out how much we needed for a specific project, as Mike was saying, and then we dedicated the assessment to the project.
No, we didn't actually do it by project. We did it to the total.
So why don't we just increase?
I don't think you can do it by project.
Well, when we totaled up what Scott's requested expenses were, I had him cut back a few things, right? And then we said, okay, that's what the expenses are. How much revenue will we receive from the water and sewer bills for sewer? Because that is segregated. And then what's the delta? And we said that delta needs to be what we get from the SRA, SBA.
But it's time limited as opposed to the sewer fee, right? The assessment, isn't it for a certain amount?
It does a fixed amount, yeah.
It's a
But it gets
fixed
For a
partitioned-
fixed period of time?
But it gets partitioned amongst those.
No,
in
it's
the-
just part of the tax calculation, like, kind of like you have the library tax on your town tax and different little special district type.
So unlike the fee, it's not based on use. Everybody pays it.
Correct,
Right, that's what we look at.
That's the difference.
correct.
It's kind of like, for you to be able to use our sewer system, there's a front fee you have to pay every year.
Although it might not be too bad because the special district overall assessment that we got was a lot higher than the assessment. And that's given to us by the county, we don't determine that.
Say that again?
So the special district assessment that's gonna be divided into that 61,000,
Yeah,
that's more than the 216 million assessed valuation for
oh,
the,
yeah, right.
for the general.
Well, because it also includes, properties outside the village that have sewer.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that's why it's not 1-for-1, yeah. Okay? All right. Any questions or comments from the department heads about this? You guys all happy? All right, so look, based on that then, we're finished with the general part of the meeting. I want to go into executive session. Now, you guys are welcome to stick around. Help take some pizza, please, with me. But we don't expect anything to change in the budget. All right? So therefore, you're free to go.
So what you're saying is the executive session about salaries.
Oh, okay, by the way, if you want to hear about what that is, you stick around.
Right, well,
Okay.
but you just said nothing's gonna change, so,
Don't talk about the other stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So the things that are on this list that we asked for, or things that we've denied or whatever, that's gonna stay the way it is.
So we don't need to come back after executive session.
No, especially you guys, I don't see that anything's gonna change with you guys, yeah.
We'll be downstairs.
Okay, good. All right, thanks a lot. All right, so then, what are we gonna make a motion to, what do I do, adjourn the general session?
Motion to go into executive.
All right, so a motion to go into executive session, a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, what I want to do is, all right, Phil, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, Jared, I hope we're going to take some.
I'm gonna stick around because I wanna hear how
Okay,
this turns
fine.
out for us.
So what I want to do is I'm going to go over to the corner over there and do the executive session.
So that's, yeah, you have to encase one of them or sleeve it. Because if you had to do 3 separate trenches and all around, that's insane.
Yeah. So what else do we have?
Yeah, let's do the same right here.
No, just the band. The band. Look, no one's watching. Don't see. Nobody cares. This is nice because Rod used to go line by line and read every single one. Rod,
Oh, no.
and then we would do that. Like, we would read it all in every meeting, so
He
it
just-
was in.
Some of this was a little repetitious.
Oh, yeah. But we can't say that we didn't tell the people. We told
Yeah.
the people for sure. So I don't think we don't need this anymore, right? Alright. I can help you.
gonna touch your camera, 'cause I don't.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah, I'll put it back on when they come back.
What?
I'll put it back on when they come back.
But what back on?
The camera.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were gonna be done with that.
Because they're gonna be machines and stuff.
Let's still get some of it. Get some of it out of it.
Absolutely. You like my new bag for
I
my
love it.
computer?
I love it.
Nice.
That matches the other stuff. Nice.
I know it's mine. I actually got a secondary screen for my computer because I'm so used to the two screens now. When I go at home and I have my one, it's like
Yeah.
my stuff's separated, so it like kind of jumbles it. For I think this was like my screen was like $80 or something.
What is it? It just sits on the side?
Yeah, you just plug it in and it makes it like dual screens.
It's very powerful.
That really was.
Or that's what it is.
It's nutrition.
We're doing it. So this is 325, right?
Yes. I sent those letters out, but I haven't get any reply yet, but.
Well, you say you wanted them, they'll get it the last minute.
Monday?
Rates change every day.
With the VA on Monday, I mean, with the rates Monday report.
He didn't know what's taken out. He just wants.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, I was talking about, I said, we have to do this change. This institution. Because he came in and he was saying, there's no cutting. I don't think you guys need salaries, that was okay. So he's going, why do you use this institution? With nutrition, well, nutrition have servers, so.
Yeah, right.
So you need a server.
And we're working, it's.
That's like taking all of Bob's trucks off.
It's a big difference.
So we need a server.
When we lost that whole AP spreadsheet that we did. So, good thing we printed it, because we recreated it.
I know, I told him about that. Maybe you need to, maybe your tower needs to be updated or something. No one else has this problem. I'm like, that's why the budget stuff's not on my computer, just in case.
Yeah.
But like, computers should work like that, that's what's weird to me.
It's pretty important.
I'm so like three more to do. At least these are just budget, it's not that much, but. No, but I have two regular board meetings I have to do. I'm sitting away.
That's what I hated. There's so many minutes. It's easy to get behind. But you're doing everything else. It's quite treacherous, hard job.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Then you have like have help in kennel on top of that.
That's full-time
You know best.
job. This is a full-time job. Not gonna have your next. Because they're just going in someone's file.
That's what I know, so it's like, do I have to have this? And it needed to be notarized, I'm like, I can notarize it, I said, but, but it's gonna just die in your file, so. Oh, I was looking up unclaimed funds in the fire department and the rescue squad have unclaimed funds. I don't know, you won't know until you have to submit the paperwork, but
That's pretty cool. I don't know what that's for.
it says fair mark, so I'm wondering if it was a return check from 2014.
I have like a $75 that I put in the, I don't know, the investment thing for Chad, like when he was first born. And I'm like, they want my birthday. It was like,
It's so much easier now,
oh, okay, maybe I'll just.
because I just did it for myself. I had like a Aflac check or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was really easy for the municipality. I'll have to get something notarized, but I'm assuming you would be the ones doing it. I was gonna tell them to do it, but just do it. I can't do that much in. Just can't do that much, I don't think, for air mark. So I'll just.
It'd be interesting to see how much it is.
Apparently, no one did that for the village for a while. When we first started, she wanted to check. She got almost enough for a server
Really? Wow.
between that and some. She cashed in on something else. I think the first server.
Last go down meeting, we worried for a little bit about call ahead yesterday. So if they come back before the senior, tell me they're gonna call.
Our screen door gets jammed, so I went to fix it, and my finger got stuck underneath the, like, where it slides and that little wheel is.
And in the village hall?
No.
Oh,
I
your
got
house.
my foot.
Uh-huh.
Of course, in between, like, I ran home to check on the kids, get them dinner, and then came back, but so it came, was like, the screen is jammed, so I went to go fix it. I'm like, this is gonna bleed forever. It only feels good if I do this while I'm sleeping, I just hang around, like,
Can you feel like your heart?
just one thing.
Does it feel like? Yeah. Can you feel like your heart?
No, it's like kind of numb, but like, it just
annoying.
it's really annoying. do have something on my desk, it's like, can you scan no, the scanner's right there. I'll take your plate.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Chance, right, career going.
Such hard work. So emotionally. Goes to Brooklyn in 2 weeks, but they're not like good days. And then he's like, no, I have a place that I could rent a room for $650 a month, and the kid's mom said she'd hire me for $21 an hour.
In Brooklyn?
No, this is in
Oh.
Monterey. This is in Monterey. Like, I'm like, oh no, it's farther from New York City than here.
Yeah.
It's just,
Not to
I
mention
know.
the travel.
I don't want to live on that. It's just, oh my God. Shut up, Hayward. And then he's looking at Spring Valley, and he's looking at horrible neighborhoods. This is where I gotta be. You want to use it. I'm not gonna fight it. I'm 22 years old, and
Yeah,
I'm
but
got a
then,
chip on your shoulder.
but then when it's, oh, I can't make my rent, who does he go to?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So
Not 10.
I would just, you know, calm down. Take it down, that shit.
Yeah, that's what I was. There's a friend that has a room in this condo in Buffalo. And I'm saying, he goes, I don't want it to pop up. Yeah, no, that's
Exactly.
I got like $200 in your account. $200.
I put it in this place.
But,
I was wrong. Is that like genetic, like, is there a test for that, or it's just
It's
seems like a big diagnosis?
not nervous, it's anxiety. Definitely has paranoia. Scandal. Yeah, he does have some deep-seated stuff. I don't know. Maybe he should have gone away to college. But he did.
I think that's a very important time.
And he's 20, he's starting to manage it better than he feels like, oh, boy, I want to do. And most of the time, it's still yeah, and then, like I said, my son has a beautiful house in San Diego. Nothing. But I don't want to go out there for 3 months and then come back and don't have anyone to. And I'm not moving on. I'm not. Okay. You don't have, $570 in savings. It's not gonna, I'm not gonna take you very far.
Not this day and age.
So anyways, I don't know what he's doing. And then it's just like, and then Ken interjects his opinions to me, but never directly to Jen. I just like, stop. I said, look, if you wanna talk to him, go talk to him. Don't tell me what I should have said.
You're entitled to your opinion.
You should have told him this, you should have said this.
No, thank you. goes until that scar would be made Thursday, so.
Yeah, I mean, and he, like I said, he is learning to manage it better. Last days. He said when he gets the regional break, he's kind of learning about his own body. And I said, Chad, if it's something that you're gonna have the rest of your life, just learn to manage it. You know? Yeah. Girl. Well, I'm not thinking about that right now. I need to figure it out. It doesn't